Hey guys, welcome back. This is week one in my 2023 Project Life album. I've got my 9 by 12 page protector and I've grabbed a stash kit to work from this week. It wasn't the stash kit that I ideally wanted to use, that I had in my head that I was going to use, because I picked a different one based on the photos that I ended up having from this week. There was a whole lot of blue in there, which didn't work with the kit that I was going to use, the one that I used from my title page. So I grabbed this one that did have a little bit more blue in it, and I think because I had already had my kind of mind stuck on what I was going to do this week, I struggled a little bit to kind of get into the flow of this. I also don't think that it helped that we were in the middle of a little bit of a heat wave while I was filming this, and holy moly was it hot in my room. I don't think my brain was fully hydrated or working properly, so I do shuffle these little cards around a whole lot. I kind of really wanted to use the blue and red stripe and kind of base the color scheme off that. But there was a little bit of pink in the photo, so I kept trying to add a little bit of pink back in. I also didn't want to overwhelm the page with too much kind of text. And so I had originally pulled out that Good Things card down the bottom. I think that was a scrapbook.com one. But it just didn't kind of work with some of the other cards that I wanted to use. So I do a whole lot of shuffling to kind of get things balanced and right. Color-wise, it does just take me a little while. And in the end, I found this one, which is, it's a comfort food. So I think all three of these cards that I've used might be in a Creative Bubble ones, actually. But it says, like, comfort food, and I didn't use it for food. I just covered up the word food, and it was like a comfort watch for me. That was, you can see by the photo at the top there, week one of 2023 wasn't the best. Ended up with a terrible cold / chest infection, in hospital for a little bit. It was a difficult and not a particularly kind of activity-filled week, so there weren't a whole lot of photos in there, which actually suited me perfectly well with my 9 by 12. I felt like I was struggling with the embellishments. I thought that there were enough kind of ones in here that were a bit more generic and kind of home-based that I wouldn't have an issue with. And although a lot of the embellishments that I've got in this kit are Paint Fresh Studio, just the colors just weren't quite gelling together. Some of them were kind of a lighter blue with red, whereas the other one was kind of a darker, more cool-toned blue with pink. It just took me a little bit to get into my stride. So what I thought I would do, the card that I've used down the bottom says Home Sweet Home. I covered it up so that it just shows one word, home, and I was going to add improvements because Shane was up there on our roof fixing a few bits and pieces. I was downstairs holding the ladder, hoping that everything went fine, and I used the little Pink Fresh letters in the kit to spell out improvement, and then realized there was no T. So that was a fail. Then I went and found another set of Pink Fresh Studio alpha stickers, puffy alpha letters. Had the right amount of letters, but they had 0 stick left in them. So I ended up having to glue all of them down individually again. It felt like a bit of a fail, but I got there in the end, and I love that kind of tone-on-tone look as well. Now, I went and ran that journaling card through my typewriter. I didn't think I'd be able to measure out all those lines perfectly to reprint my journaling, so I just did it on the typewriter, which meant I had a funny little gap at the bottom, so I've just filled that in with a tiny little floral puffy sticker. And then I go back to the embellishments for kind of like what else I can add to this layout. And although it's blue on blue, I kind of felt like I wanted to add a little bit more of that like warmer tone. It's almost purpley, like it's definitely a darker blue, but it's got a warm undertone in it. I wanted to add some more of that, so I added one sticker to my 4x6, and I want to add something on my foggy day photo and on this hospital photo here, but I couldn't find anything that I liked that wasn't green, and I was desperate not to add green in here. I didn't want to add any other colors to the mix, so I went and dug through my stamp stash and found a couple of stamp sets from Citrus Twist that were perfect. This one is ugh. I struggle every time I have to say it, but I had the perfect stamp there, inhale, exhale, which was one of the things I was struggling to do. So I've double stamped there, layered them up. And the other one, I think it's called the Weathering stamp set. I really just love this circular stamp set, which basically is just like, this is what today looks like. So it's not particularly weather focused. I just love adding it as kind of an overlay to a photo like that. So the last card, I'm not going to add anything in the way of embellishments. I'm just going to stick it down. I was going to like try and find an embellishment or something that said like binge watching or my comfort watch or something like that. And there is a sticker like that in that Pink Fresh Studio set. But again, it's green. I didn't want to add it. I was just desperate not to be honest. I did want to add a little bit of color in here, so I've added the puffy heart sticker. It's definitely not exactly the right colors. The yellow's a little bit more on the green side and the pinks aren't quite right, but they're close enough just to add a little bit more color into there. Especially because I'm going to work on my title card and it's going to end up very kind of gray and kind of monochrome looking. None of the label stickers left on the Pink Fresh set were kind of the exact right kind of colors, so I go back into my little digital label stash here and pick out a red one, but all I had was red on this gray wood tone paper. I'm going to use some white alphas that I pulled out of my stash. They weren't in part of this kit, but I wanted a larger alpha for my title. And I also have this ticket. I had to cut it off. That's how long I've had those embellishments. 2021 it's got on there, so far too long. Couldn't use the 2021. I've missed the boat on that one. But because I've added that red ticket, I've gone back to my labels and swapped that out just for a black one. I didn't have any other colors in there that were kind of right. I've got no like peachy pinks or anything left in there. None of this kind of blue or the warmer tone blue. So black was it. Black I went with. And then I'm going to add these alpha stickers on top of the strip of blue paper, which I just cut off one of the other 4x6 cards. Now I know from previous experience these alphas are old. They're old from my stash, but they were also a bit older when I bought them. So there is very little stick left on here as well. I'm not even going to worry about trying to pretend to stick them down. I'm just going to go straight in with some smart glue and get those suckers stuck down straight away. Now, one thing I do forget to do is add in the date stamps onto that label, and I didn't even realize that I had forgotten to do that until I sat down to edit this video, so you can be sure I will do it eventually. It just won't be shown here today. I did want to add a little bit more. I was desperate to add a bit more color into this title card, and there was like one blue enamel dot that was the perfect color. But I wanted some of that yellow, and this yellow on this Pink Fresh set just wasn't right, so I went and dug through my stash and grabbed a yellow enamel dot from Citrus Twist. I was going to add a pink one, but I left it as it was, 2 blue ones and a yellow one, and called this one done. One of my things is that I'm trying to simplify with the 9x12, and I don't feel like I achieved that this week, but I did get there in the end. Hey, thanks for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, I'm going to leave a couple videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you again really soon. Bye.